Hey guys, welcome back to Monday Morning Quarterback. We got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened over the weekend. But yeah, let's get into it. Tap in and subscribe. Your brain wants to smoke. Now, I'm going to talk about Monday night. I'm going to break that down. There's two games today: Bills in Atlanta taking on the Falcons, and then you got the Bears facing the Commanders. Now, I think for this first game here between the Bills and Falcons, I got to ride with the Bills. Um, Tough loss. They didn't play the best. It was ugly football against the Patriots. But I think this Falcons team, their offense has played pretty sloppy all year. There's not really, other than Bijan, there's not really much going on for that Atlanta offense. And I think that the defense is going to have a hard time stopping Josh Allen and James Cook. I know they've got a good run defense, but I think between Allen, Cook, and his ability to make plays or make explosive plays, I don't think that the Falcons will be able to contain or even be able to stop Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Now the Bills, they did expose themselves a little bit in that Patriots game. I wasn't expecting them to come out with a loss. If I'm being honest, I thought they would have controlled that game, but defensively, they just bad football. Offensively, they fumbled the ball. I think it was like twice. Defensively, they couldn't really do much to stop Stephon Diggs and the Patriots. I think they're gonna course correct. They're going to adjust, and I think that this game they'll play probably better football than they have the past couple of weeks. Because even when they've won, they haven't been pretty wins. Like they narrowly beat the Saints. It took them until the fourth quarter to actually pull through against a pretty terrible Saints team. They just haven't really looked like themselves. But I think if you're going to explode or make a case for why you should be MVP, if you're Josh Allen, or why you deserve to be a Super Bowl front runner, then I think that this is a good week to do so. Tough defense, a lot of young guys, tough defense, but I think that that's not going to make a difference. I do think that they'll be able to take advantage and win the game. And I think that something to look out for is the Falcons situation. I think Raheem Morris expectations. Last season they finished 7-9, I believe it was. They're yeah, up and down season all year, but you had a lot of promise for your team between Bijan, Drake London, uh, the quarterback play. I mean, everything was looking good, and all of a sudden that hasn't really showed up. Bijan has played amazing. Drake London has been a no-show. Kyle Pitts was already a no-show, but he isn't doing much of anything this year. Michael Penix, though, he's really, I think he's been a big surprise. I think a lot of people expected him to take this big step. And so far this season, that hasn't really panned out. He hasn't really showed that quality of play that he put on last year when he became the full-time starter. So that will be something to watch out for. I think the Bills defense is going to try to take advantage, make him throw terrible balls, try to make him throw these high pressure situations that could turn into turnovers, uh, if intercepted or anything like that. So I think if you're the Falcons, if you're the offense, the only way to stay in this game is you're going to have to rely on Michael Penix to be able to make good plays, because you've seen it. Like, he's got a good arm. You've seen him make some good plays to Drake London and Bijan, but you can't just rely on Bijan. You're going to have to rely on your quarterback's arm and for him to make the right decisions and the best decisions when necessary. And so far this year, he hasn't really done that. Maybe with this Bills defense, I mean, they've been injured and banged up. And in that Patriots game, they were kind of exposed. So maybe, and it's just maybe, he could take advantage of that and, show some flaws that we've already saw and take advantage of them in that Bills defense. But even if he's able to do that, I just don't think the Falcons have the manpower to be able to take down the Bills. So I've got to take the Bills on this one. I think it'll probably be like all games the Bills have played this year, where it'll be close to three quarters, but in the fourth, the Bills will eventually pull through and get the win. Now, the second game on this Monday night slate is Bears at Washington. They're taking on the Commanders. And I don't think this one's going to be as close as Bills Falcons. I think the Commanders are going to absolutely blow the water. They're absolutely going to destroy the Bears. Sorry to any Bears fans out there, but I'm just not the defense, which has usually been a staple, at least the past couple of seasons, which has been a staple, which has been top 5, top 10 in both the pass and the rush, has disappeared. Absolutely disappeared. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. But they just don't look like the same team defensively as they did last season. And again, as to why that is, I couldn't tell you. They still got guys like Tremaine Edmonds. I don't know if Jalen Johnson is playing or what his situation is, or whether or not he's healthy or not. But this team is just looking like a shell of themselves defensively compared to how they were last year and the past couple of seasons. And I think offensively, they have been on a roll the past 2 weeks. They had the bye last week, but before that, you were starting to see flashes of what could be an explosive offense. But I don't know. I like Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams. I trust him more, and I think that he has more talent. He has more and better upside than Caleb Williams and the Bears. I don't think it's necessarily a Ben Johnson or a coaching problem. I just think that the Bears can't seem to get it right in terms of players, in terms of coordinators and the coaching staff. Like they just can't get it right. Um, and I don't think they're going to be able to pull off an upset or a win today unless they have an offensive showing where like Caleb Williams is throwing for 450 yards and 100 rushing yards and doing like this big performance, which he hasn't really shown much of that. I mean, he did against the Cowboys, but that was really his only notable performance of the season. Pair that with the lack of defense, with the lack of a pass rush, lack of run defense. I just don't think that the Bears have a chance to win this game. And Jaden Daniels now, he has a game under his belt where he's healthy, coming off that knee or ankle injury. He's coming back, and he looked pretty good last week. And that was him with a brace. Now I don't know if he'll still be playing with a brace, but you can't expect him to be stronger, more physical, better. And I just think that the Commanders are going to be able to win this game, march down there, and do their thing. And also, Bob, they have so many good veterans on the offensive side. I mean, you've got Zach Ertz, who's been pretty reliable given his age, and given their injuries on offense. Zach Ertz has been the one reliable player. That'll be something to watch out for too, as the Bears again, the pass defense is pretty terrible, but especially the tight ends, I think they're like bottom, one of the worst teams, like bottom 3, bottom 5 in terms of yards allowed to tight ends. So you could see Zach Ertz having a 1 or 2 touchdown night game or having a 100-yard game or something close to that. I think that wouldn't be surprising. Also, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Daniels gets a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. Like I think he will absolutely dazzle this game and show us why he is the guy, why he's the next generation of NFL quarterbacks. He's going to show out today. He's going to ball out. I don't think it'll even be close by the fourth quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus Mariota's in that game. Just throwing it out there. So yeah, I'm taking Commanders to get the home win against the Bears. Now, as I'm sure you guys have seen by now, or if you haven't, there's been 2 notable firings in the football world. The bigger one, James Franklin, getting fired from Penn State. Now, I know that this is specifically NFL content that you're looking for, but let me connect the dots. This will all make sense in a couple minutes. Now, earlier today, the Titans announced that they fired Brian Callahan, which just, it was much needed. It was long overdue. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It was long overdue. Unfortunate for Callahan. He was the worst coach in franchise history. There's not a single thing that you could say that he did good during his coaching tenure. Yeah, the offense was in complete shambles. So was the defense. Just, it was awful. Awful, awful, awful is the only way I could describe it. He is gone now, which means there is a coaching void for the Titans. Now, they haven't announced an intern head coach as of yet. And I say that as of yet. Maybe something could happen later on by the time you're watching this. But as of right now, and it is 4:50, they have not announced an intern head coach. But I think I have a solution, or at least a guy who could come in and potentially turn around the program. I just mentioned James Franklin. And this could be crazy. This could be unhinged, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Let me walk you through my steps. Let me walk you through why I think that there's a chance that James Franklin could be the coach. Now, you could look at the Titans and be like, oh, they're going to take Bo Hardegree. He was the OC. They gave him the play calling abilities like 2 weeks before Callahan was fired. But I think that probably makes more sense. But in the 2 games he's taken over as the play caller, it hasn't been better either. It's been awful as well. So I think that there, and at least in my mind, I do have some doubt as if he becomes the OC or goes from OC to head coach. I do have doubt in my mind that he'll be able to try to turn this team around. I think the season's already lost, which I think for a lot of teams, you can't necessarily say that until later on, like at least the second half. But we're not even in the first half of the season, and the Titans only have one win. They've been blown out essentially in almost every single game. And even the game they did win, which was 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals, that game, they shouldn't have won that game. Now, you look at the box score, you look at the final result, and it says they won, which they did. But they didn't play like it. They got lucky. It was luck and the Cardinals playing terrible football that allowed them to win. I mean, you think about it, going back to that Cardinals game, the 70-yard run, right? And then DeMercado fumbled, dropped the ball, lowered his guard, lowered his hand, and the ball was able to fumble the ball. L'Jarius Sneed fumbles it, pops out, you get the touchback, you're able to go down the field, get some points. Then on the next drive, Cam Ward throws a terrible ball, and I don't even know who the defender was, drops it, it somehow falls back to the end zone, and the Titans get the ball and they get the touchdown. That doesn't happen every day. How often do you see an interception, he drops the interception, it rolls around, bounces off like 2, 3 guys into the end zone for a score. That just doesn't happen. Like that's not even skill, that's just luck, and the Cardinals playing terrible ball. So even in that Cardinals game, yes, they won, but it wasn't a pretty win. It wasn't a win where you could be like, yeah, they really, showed a flash of something. They were dead for like 3 quarters of that game. And if it weren't for the Cardinals playing terrible football and making bad choices, we would have been 0-6 right now alongside with the Jets. So you have to wonder, and Bo Hardegree was the coordinator for that. He was the one making the shots. He was calling the plays, and it was pretty terrible. And he called he. I mean, I'm out of words here, but he was the one calling plays this week as well. And if you watched highlights, even highlights, you saw that there weren't really any big plays. There was nothing to be excited about as a fan. Even as a coach, like I think Amy Adams and this organization, the Titans organization, knew that there was nothing to be excited for. There was no turning this around with Callahan. So you could look at this and say that Hardegree could be the guy, but I just don't think he has the potential to be a coach. I just don't think he does. James Franklin, though, has experience. He's gone on to show that he can be an amazing coach and he can dominate. Now, I think this season has been unfortunate for Penn State and for Franklin as well, but there is some upside if you are James Franklin. One, you're getting paid $50 million from the contract buyout, 50 plus million for I don't even know how many years. So even if you don't do anything, if nothing else happens with Franklin, you're still getting 50 million. I mean, that's great for him. Not so much that he's out of a job, but the fact that he's still getting paid 50 million from the University of Penn State, that's something good. That's something to look forward to. Now, if I'm James Franklin, I think he has, I think that there was some fallout between him and the athletic directors or the university. There's something went wrong, or something happened that made him fire him in the middle of the season. You just don't do that unless something has gone really wrong. And for a program like Penn State to do that, you're not just going to fire a guy in the middle of the season. I think that there was something going on, at least with upper management or, behind the scenes that we don't know as of yet. Or maybe it was just the fact that they were on a 3-game losing streak. It could be as simple as that, and I'm overthinking it. But if I'm Franklin, you've had a great career. No one can say you've had a terrible career as a college coach. No one can say that. No one can. Even though you got fired, things didn't go your way this season. No one can say James Franklin was a terrible head coach. You just can't. Look at how much talent he's put out into the NFL. Look at how much respect he has. No one has a bad thing to say about him. I think Micah Parsons made a statement, or he made some kind of comment saying how he was angry by the school for firing him, saying it shouldn't have happened. Because it was a shock. It truly was a shock. I was surprised that they did it in the first place. But I think if you're James Franklin, he's never coached in the NFL. This would be a clean slate for him. And it'd be a new opportunity for Franklin to prove why he's the best at what he does. And I think if you can turn a program around, or turn a team around, I should say, like Tennessee, turn them into a playoff contender or a team that could go on a playoff run or a Super Bowl, that would be an amazing story. And it'd be an amazing comeback story for James Franklin. You counted him out. He adjusted. He came back. He showed everyone who's the boss, why I'm good at this, why I have a job. And if I'm Amy Adams, I'm looking at his firing and be like, this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity to get a coach who has had great success at Penn State over 12 seasons, great success, insane amount of talent in the NFL that has gone to the NFL. Abdul Carter, Micah Parsons, Saquon, even the Titans now, they got Kevin Winston Jr. And even though he's only played like 1 or 2 games, he's been pretty solid in those games. So even him as a rookie, he as a safety, rookie safety, he's playing at a great level too. One of the few highlights of that defense. So if I'm James Franklin, I'm thinking, why don't I, step into the NFL, step into that world and see how it goes? Because you have nothing to lose. Because your season, if you're a Titans fan, your season's already lost. Like the Titans won't make the playoffs, and Franklin going there isn't going to change that. What could change is the culture of the team. You could get some tough wins. You could get some wins that kind of like Mike Vrabel right now in the Patriots. He got that win against the Bills. He got another win this week. I mean, he's kind of getting these culture wins, these wins that give you confidence in the team. And the Patriots are a young team as well. They're a young team. Yet they're 4-2 to start the year. They've got some great wins on their schedule, and they're playing at a great level because Vrabel's gone in there and he's been a culture guy. He's built this culture. He has set expectations, and the players understand that, and they're accepting of that. So they're playing to their best level. Franklin is a culture guy too. And I think if you get Franklin in a situation like that, the year's already over again for the Titans because they're not making the playoffs. They're not in the AFC South race for the title division. So whatever happens, happens. So the stakes for him are pretty low. And all eyes won't be on the Titans, no matter who they put as the coach. No eyes are on the Titans. No media, no analysts are going to be talking about the Titans because there's nothing to talk about. Even Cam Ward, as the first overall pick, not much has been talked about him. Unless you're a Titans fan or Titans media, no one else has really talked about him or the team, as a matter of fact. So if you're Franklin, I'll have something to prove. I want to show that I'm good at what I do. I can be a successful coach. I can win with a team. I don't see why not. You've got nothing to lose. You're already getting paid from Penn State. And so in addition to whatever Tennessee would pay you or how that looked like that contract, I don't know. But I think it makes sense. And for the Titans, if they're able to land a coach like Franklin, or Franklin for that matter, and he's able to turn the program around, if you're the owner, Amy Adams, you kind of save yourself too, because people are enraged at Amy Adams. They want her to sell the team to someone else. They are done with her. They want her gone, which I don't blame the fans. I'm a Titans fan myself. I mean, a, a it's been a frustrating season. Even last season was frustrating too, but you knew that the team was going to be bad. We knew that Levis was okay, but like we knew the team wasn't there. This year, you got the first overall pick. You got Ward. He's a young guy. The expectation is not that you're going to win a Super Bowl, but at least you're going to win a couple games, or you would have won a game by week 5. Not to start off the season 1-5 with low expectations, with angry fan base, the team yelling "Fire Callahan" by week 3 of the season, which was the Colts game. Um, it's not a good time to be a Titans fan, and it's not a good time if you're Amy Adams, the owner. I think that she could very well be the next person out of Tennessee if they can't fire a coach, or I mean, if they can't find a coach. So, if you're Amy Adams, this could save you and take some heat off of you with bringing in a guy like Franklin, who is a big time name and could turn the team around into something good. Because he wouldn't be the first college coach to do it. I mean, we saw Pete Carroll in USC, goes to Seattle, turns them around, Super Bowl champs. Like, that's only one example, but it's happened countless times. Jimmy Johnson with the Cowboys in the 90s goes from Miami, he leaves, goes on to the Cowboys and wins some Super Bowls there. Like, it can happen. And if I'm Franklin and you know that you're one of the best coaches out there, I don't think it makes sense to be sitting around when you've got the skill set, you've got the mind, and you could bring in the talent, the coordinators, the coaching staff, everything to be able to do it. So at least in my mind, I think it wouldn't be shocking if the Titans go in that direction. I actually think it's a good move. I really do think it's a good move for Franklin to go to the Titans, get a couple wins on the season. You're going to be bad either way. You'll get a top 10 pick, regardless of whether you win or lose. You're going to get a top 10 pick. Use that, get some momentum, become a playoff contender, become a playoff team like they had that run in 2019, 2020, where they were an elite team. Get back to that. And I think that Cam Ward could be that vessel, could be the quarterback that could help the team with the right coach, aka Franklin, to be able to get back to that playoff level, that playoff caliber team that they were only only a number of years ago. So yeah, I mean, you could call me crazy. Um, okay, fine, you call me crazy, but I think that Titans don't have an intern head coach, whether it be the OC or the defensive coordinator that is worthy or has really proven themselves of being a permanent head coach. And I don't think that there's any coaches right now that would be willing to come to Tennessee, at least in the NFL. So I think it wouldn't be surprising if Franklin comes here. And also, Franklin, he coached, I think it was a season or two at Vanderbilt. So he just knows the Nashville area. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some connections or knows some people here who could pull some strings to get him this job. It wouldn't be surprising and I wouldn't be shocked by it. So yeah, guys, call me unhinged, say whatever you want, but just listen to Prince. And if I'm right about this, then you call me a genius. And you could comment saying that I'm a genius and that I should be a guru on TV, which eventually I will be, but that's a story for another day. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for listening. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Thank you for listening. See you guys on Friday.